This Hangout is on air. Okay, so there's a lot of things in a session like this. It's kind of a tips and tricks kind of a session. And I'm going to go over a lot of things. And the way that I put my slides together is I don't do a whole lot of step-by-step instructions on the slides themselves. Okay, so in recording this, there's the opportunity for you if you're trying to remember. I know he went over this and I forgot how to do it. You can always go to, you'll have a copy of this, obviously, of the presentation, but then down here at the bottom of this second slide is my YouTube channel. And so by clicking on that, it takes you to the YouTube channel of all the videos that I've created. And right up here at the top of it is the Hacking Google Drive on-air session that I did earlier this morning. And so if you are doing tutorials with students, if you have the opportunity to present in front of people face-to-face, it's kind of cool to keep a hangout of it so that people can refer back to it, And it's really about creating a tool that your students or your fellow teachers can refer back to if they need to. And so I just do it. I think I might get in trouble for this one because I blasted it out to my entire Google Plus universe. And this is, like a paid-for session and all that. I don't know. No one's yelled at me yet, but this one is not blasted out like that. So, but you'll have the ability to come back to my Google Plus channel and go ahead and access that. And if you're really a glutton for punishment, you can jump in on any one of these college courses that I teach. That's painful. Those are like hours of my voice. Okay, so my name is Mark Rounds. This is my Gmail address, and that's my personal Gmail address, and this is my Twitter handle. I am a firm believer in together teachers are stronger, and so I love connecting with teachers that are from all walks that have great ideas and that want to share great ideas. And so if ever there's anything that you might have a question on and you don't have a resource to bounce anything off of, I encourage you to email me or message me on Twitter and make me part of your PLN, of your personal or professional learning network. I'm just really, I for a long time taught all by myself. Okay, I started a new job this past September, but for the 3 years prior to that, I taught, it was a single teacher site independent study program for kids on probation and that had been expelled from district. So I had no teachers, I had no synergy except the synergy that I created in my own head. And believe me, there's a lot of people living in there during those 3 years. We'd sit there and have arguments. I'd really make the kids nervous, and I get a lot of crazy kids, but when I started talking to the voices in my head, none of them were as crazy as me. So that was kind of what I kind of held over them. But it really strengthened me to have a group of teachers and I didn't even necessarily know a bunch of these teachers because I consider that every teacher that I follow and every educator that I follow on Twitter to be part of my PLN, and everyone that I've put into a circle on Google Plus part of my PLN. And that's the power of your learning network, is that you don't have to know the people for them to feed you as a teacher. Okay, and so and there are times in my teaching life where I'm voracious for new knowledge. I just want to know stuff, and there's so many teachers out there with so much expertise in so many areas that I don't have it in, that just being able to share is pretty powerful. So now I am part of a nice sized teaching staff. I teach at the Monarch School, which is right across the bridge. It's a comprehensive K-12 for homeless kids. And there's a lot of neat things going on there. I'm actually the CTE teacher, so I get to teach coding and IT and building and construction and digital media, and so there's a lot of neat things that I get to do. Yes.
Your credential.
Yes.
We were having this discussion at a STEM meeting, and adding the coding and the computer.
Right.
It's not very clear on what credential is needed.
I know. Yeah, I mean,
right.
Well, for coding, that's foggy. My credential is more concise because I also teach IT fundamentals. So I have a CTE credential in information technology. but I don't know that that covers coding. You know what I mean? It covers.
Principal would have no problem giving you that.
Right, exactly. But you know, coding is a huge thing now. I mean, if any of you are planning on going to the Q conference in March or even to the fall Q, which is up north in November, I mean, coding is going to be as far as sessions go, coding is going to just be packed out because people are you know, they want to know what's going on with coding and how coding and working with students is, you know, can be such a powerful thing with kids. But yeah, it's like, where does that fit into a normal curriculum?
Well, we were at the STEM symposium
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks ago up here in San Diego. But he was talking about the different jobs.
Right.
I didn't mean to get off.
No, it's fine. We're again.
Credential. We were starting to talk about building a better STEM program, but we don't have anyone with the credentials. So then we started looking at what it would take. We can't even find.
Right.
We can't even find. I mean, obviously, if you have a computer science degree, you qualify, but it doesn't even match a credential, even if you had that.
Right. Yeah. No. It is. You know. It's one of those nebulous areas now where the technology and the need and the desire has outpaced the you know, state government's ability to regulate who's in charge of that and who does it. You know, all we know as teachers is this is the kind of technology we need to get in the hands of our kids. These are the kind of things we need to get them doing because, you know, it's such a marketable skill.
You need to add classes, but
right.
Then
who teaches them?
Classes,
right.
That's where maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, the whole makerspace movement, which is, you know, kind of this huge movement that's afoot. It's like, how do you start regulating that? How do you regulate and give students credit for a tinkering zone? You know, and that's why you see that kind of migrating into libraries, and it's kind of librarians are kind of taking up that mantle. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where all that leads. So yeah, definitely. If you're not on Twitter already, I'm sure that you've heard it over and over and over again. Get on Twitter. All right, so we're going to talk. There's basically two parts to what I'm going to be presenting to you, and we're going to be talking about over the next 45 minutes or so. The first part are features that are already built into Chrome. Okay, so you download the Chrome browser, you're in Chrome. These things already live there. And then the second section is going to be extensions. So these are things that you add on. All right. So, and a lot of these are pretty quick, are pretty quick hitters. And if you have a Chrome browser open, please dive in and experiment with it a little bit. One of my favorite features when I learned it, now I use it all the time, is the paste and go and the paste and search. So if I have a website, let's say this YouTube site, and I've copied it. So it's on a web page, and I copy it. And I then type it into, and has anyone learned the name of this bar up here? It's the Omni Bar, yeah, in Chrome. So Omni, it does everything. Okay? It's not, it used to be the address bar, because you can only type in www dots in there. And then then they started incorporating search into this bar, so you could type in as if you would, you know, do you remember the early versions of web browsers where it would have the address bar over here and then the search bar over here? Okay, now we have this bar that does everything, and Google calls it the Omni Bar because it does even more than just search and go to addresses. And we'll take a look at some of the things it does do in a little bit. But if I now paste into, or if I right-click into, sorry, if I right-click into the Omni Bar, I have this option to paste and go. Now, I could just paste it in there and then press return, and it would go there, right? But if I can just choose paste and go, it will paste the address into the bar and go there, okay? And the same thing works with paste and search, except I'm not going to paste in an address. I'm going to paste in, let's say, let me get a word here that I can paste in. Okay, if I'm on Twitter and I want to look something up, so I copy it out of the text and I come up to the Omni Bar here and I go to paste it in, you can see that the paste and go has been replaced with paste and search. So Chrome knows because of how the whatever I'm pasting in there starts. If it starts with a www, if it recognizes it as a website, you'll get the paste and go. If it doesn't recognize it as a website, it'll go to paste and search. So you can just very quickly pop it in there and it'll do a quick paste and search on it. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're all oohing and awing in your hearts and your minds. It's just been a long weekend, I know, so the oohs and ahs come pretty slowly. So the next thing I want to share with you is pinning tabs. Okay, and pinning tabs is great for it in my practice because I am used to having just a bunch of tabs open, and and then I wind up closing. I get frustrated, and then I'll close a bunch of tabs. So I'll just kind of start here, and then I'll just Command W on a Mac just closes tab after tab, and I'll do that. But one of the neat things that you can do with your tabs is by right-clicking on them, you can choose this option to pin the tab, and what that will do is it will basically send your tab all the way to the left. It'll shrink it down so you can see it doesn't say Google Drive there. It does have the icon, but it'll leave that tab there. It'll pin it to the left. You see when I roll over it, it doesn't give me an X, so I can't get rid of it. It just stays there and sits there. So for something like my Google Drive or my Gmail, something that I use all the time and kind of keep open all the time, it's really handy just to be able to pin that tab there, and so I always know it's there. Oh, there you go.
So when we close it and open it back up, they'll all be there.
So if I close, which I just did, I just closed my my browser, and if I open up a new window, it's gone. Okay, it just lives in there for the life of that window. Okay, yeah, it's not like permanently pinning it. Sorry. Oh, look what I did. Yes, you can. If you're like me, I mean, I always wind up leaving, a window open for a week. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of the way it works. I'm actually going to give you, you know what? Just because you're here now, and this is the last session, and this is kind of like I'm like the used car salesman, and I've just got a couple more cars to sell at the end of the day. So I'm going to give you like some real cheap hints here. Let me open a few tabs. Give me a minute. It's a little Wi-Fi's a little grumpy, but we'll. So I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs open. There is an extension. Where are you, buddy? Called OneTab. Okay. And so we'll talk a little bit more about extensions. Is anybody in here not familiar with Google Chrome extensions? Okay. So extensions are basically, there's a Chrome store, and we'll look at the Chrome store in a little bit, but extensions are things that you can download and add on to Chrome, all right? And so there's this extension called OneTab, and what OneTab does is when you click on it, it takes all of your tabs, and it basically condenses them to one tab, and then it saves them. So you can see that I've got a few different OneTabs here from different times where I've closed, and that will basically be kind of like a little home page for all of your sites that you had open. So let's say that there are 5 or 6 sites that you use all day long. You can open those up at the beginning of the day, condense them down to one tab, and then pin that tab, and it'll be there. It'll be there, kind of available for you all the time. And if you quit Chrome and open it back up, one of the tabs that opens up is the OneTab tab, and those tabs will still remain right there.
there a button on it that you can click and it'll all pop up at the top?
There isn't, but you can click them. You can click them one at a time. And I know that there are extensions that there are a lot of multiple tab extensions that allow you to do different things with multiple tabs. So they definitely exist. I mean, when we look at that Chrome Web Store, there's so many extensions and add-ons that kind of makes my head spin, and I'm super into this stuff.
So when you click on that one tab, then does it open up those 5 tabs that you save under that one tab?
No, it basically just houses them there as these. It turns them into links.
Okay.
Basically, is what it does. And the reasoning behind that is that because when you have multiple tabs open, okay, in your laptop, and it doesn't matter what kind of laptop you have, it could be a Chromebook, a MacBook, a PC. In your laptop or in your desktop PC, there is a motherboard, and in the middle of that motherboard is a processor, and that processor is this tiny little either chrome or black square chip. It's tiny, but it does a lot of work. That's basically the brains of your computer. And the more tabs you have open, the more things that brain is thinking of. So as you close down tabs, it frees up thinking space, right? So I've often worked with teachers who are like, I don't know why my computer's going so slow. And I'll see they have 75 tabs open. It's because your computer's like trying to figure out 75 different things at the same time. Yes? Did I ever? Yes, restore all. There you go. So it does do that, restore all.
And like when you open up your computer, I just click close.
Yeah.
I have to shut down every one of those.
Right.
And when I open it back up,
they all right.
Gotta load them all, close them all.
So
in one tab.
So and that's cool. The reason that it probably does that is that in your settings, you probably have it set up on startup to continue where you left off. So if you have it set to continue where you left off, if you quit Chrome with 75 tabs open, when you open Chrome, it's gonna open all those 75 tabs again, and you're gonna get a bunch of swirlies up in all of your little tabs because it's loading all those pages at the same time, and it takes forever to do that. So you can change that in your settings to open the new tab page or open a specific page. So yeah, that's something, and that's something that I always think that I need to uncheck as well, because it's that is frustrating. And I just did it. I just had it open up to my new tab page, which is cool. Okay, so in this Omni Bar, you can do cool things like quick calculations and conversions. And this is something that a lot of people know, and those that know it use it all the time. I use it all the time as a calculator when I'm working with students and I need to figure something out mathematically real quick. If I need to know what 56 divided by 4.5 is, I just type it in there, and I don't have to press enter or anything. It just gives me an answer. Okay, gives me an answer right here. Okay, so super quick calculations, and then the conversions are always neat too. You could say like 5 gallons, and it'll give you just a quick conversion. Now, you might not want it in liters, but that's the quick conversion that it's going to give you. Okay, so it's just kind of guessing that maybe you want to convert gallons to liters. That's just built into that Omni Bar. Yeah. Now, if you want to get a little more detailed than that, you can go. Google has its own built-in conversion calculator. So if I were to just go into my Omni Bar and type in conversion calculator, it would just generate here up on top of my search window. And there are a lot of different things that it'll convert. Okay, temperature, length, mass, speed, volume, fuel consumption. Okay. Time and digital storage. Digital storage is always fun because I can see like how many gigabytes are in a terabyte, or how many terabytes are in a gigabyte in this case. Okay, and so you can do all kinds of different if you just need to know quick conversions, Fahrenheit to Celsius. If you need to do quick length conversions, I need yards to feet. Whatever it is, right? Google has in its search engine a very quick conversion calculator. Okay, scheduling events. Now I've really taken to using my Android device now to schedule events, but you can always do it in your web browser. Okay. You just type in schedule event. Should be able to. Oh, schedule appointment, sorry. Weird. Maybe it's up here. Okay. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to take that slide and delete it. How many of you have an Android phone? Okay. You can do it with Siri too, but I can always say, okay, Google, and then remind me when I get home to feed the dog, and it knows when I get home and will remind me when I get there to feed my dog, which is awesome. Okay, I was oohing and awing you with this so that you didn't see what happened. Okay, so Google Timer. How many of you use a Google Timer in your classroom? Oh, okay. Okay, Google Timer is cool because you can timer set 10 minutes. Okay, if you just type in timer set something, it'll create a timer that if you wanted to, you can make full screen and project on your board. So if you have your students doing some sort of a quick collaboration, you want to give them 10 minutes to do it, there it goes. And when it gets to the end of that, it will beep really loud. So, I mean, something simple. It's just a time, it's just a classroom timer, but it, the ability to just get that on the fly as a teacher. We're always looking for ways to increase our productivity. Huh? To set an alarm at a certain time?
Yeah, like if I'm doing a lab and I want to to clean up, but I don't want to sit there and go, okay, it's going to be 42 minutes of that.
Right.
But I know the class is over at 10, so at 9:55 I want to set an alarm.
There's an app called Timer in the Play Store, and it also it shows you the time up on the tab. So
Yeah.
even if you're in a different tab, it'll still count down.
Yeah, if we go into the Chrome store and type in alarm, I'm sure that we get, let's look for extensions and remember your appointments, alarm clock, timer, and countdown. So yeah, there are add-ons that do that. It doesn't look like Google itself does it, because I just tried to set alarm for 4 p.m. and there are also, outside of Chrome, you can just find a website that does that. Okay, now this is something that that I always, when I'm working with teachers and working in any web browser basically does this, but the ability to move your tabs around is, this is something that is general knowledge, but it seems like there's always someone's playing with a timer, huh? I heard that. That there's always someone who doesn't know this, and it's just like, okay, that's something that's really easy to do, but it's life-changing, right? That if I want to move tabs around, all I do is click, hold, and drag it. So if I want my drive to be at the end instead of at the front, I can click it like that. And if I want to separate it completely from this window, I click, drag, and pull it down, and it opens it up as a new window. Yeah, it's now a separate window. So, and if I want to rejoin it, I can grab that tab, pull it around, and then just kind of drag it up back into that set of tabs. So by clicking, holding, and dragging your tabs, you can move them around, you can pull them out of the window, and you can put them back into a window. Uh-huh.
So how do I get rid of those now that you showed me that?
How do you get rid of extensions? Well, I was going to not embarrass myself by showing you exactly how many extensions I have. But if you go into your settings, which is the hamburger over on the far top right corner, you know, you can't really see it up there, but you all know the hamburger, right? The 2 buns in the burger, the 3 lines. If you click, well, you know, the people have different names for it, but I heard hamburger first, and I've always kind of gone with hamburger. It can be the 3 hot dogs too, or the triple line, or I've heard people call it different things. But if I go down there to tools, and that'll open up another window, and in there I'm going to grab extensions. It'll open up a window that has all of my extensions in it, right? And if I want to get rid of, like, this is an extension that I thought I'd like, but I didn't. So here it's called Glux, and I have it disabled. So you can disable, you can enable and disable your extensions without deleting them. And if you want to delete them, you just click the little trash can. It'll ask you if you're sure you want to remove it, and you can. Okay, that magnifying glass is a Macintosh application. So it's an app for my Mac, and it is called it's called Zoom It, I believe. I love it. It's my favorite. I use it all the time. I think it's called Zoom It. No, I hit Option Z. Okay. Yeah, Zoom It, an on-screen magnifier from Mac OS. It's at zoomitapp.com. And yeah, so when I have it turned on, I just press Option Z, and it zeroes in on what I want to zero in on. How much is it? Let's see. I bought it from the App Store. I don't think it's more than a few bucks, but let's see. It's okay. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to just kind of bounce things off each other. So it says it's installed for me already, so I don't know if it'll actually give me a price. No, it won't. But, oh, $2.99. $2.99. And I think I bought it right after I got like a bunch of iTunes gift cards for Christmas or something like that, so it was free to me. But yeah, I mean, if you're presenting or you know, whenever you're projecting for students, I mean, just to be able to zoom in on something, and you can choose you can modify the size of the glass and, you know, the magnification and all that as well. Yeah, I wish that was a Chrome app, but you know, if they don't have my philosophy with anything Google makes is it's never no, it's just not yet. Right? So if you say, you know, does Google do this? And you're like, no, but I would say not yet, because, you know, I mean, they just it's a pretty magnificent company in a lot of ways. I know a lot of people are scared of them. They kind of got the big brother thing going on, but
I learned in one of the sessions that they gave SketchUp away.
Yeah, they just gave it away. Yeah, which is, I mean, it's just an amazing tool too.
It is. I can't believe they gave it away.
All right, so yeah, clicking, dragging, and moving your tabs is awesome. Okay, custom search engines. This is fun stuff right here. Okay, so give me, let's see, let's go to one I don't think I've done Wikipedia before, so let's go to Wikipedia. Okay, so I go to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is, you know, it's an online encyclopedia. You know, people have varying thoughts on Wikipedia and all that business, but we're not here to talk about Wikipedia itself. I'm just talking about its ability to search. Okay, and on Wikipedia, there is, you know, this search bar right here. And if I right-click in that search bar, I can go down to this option where it says Add as Search Engine. And if I click on that, it's going to open up for me up here a dialog window that allows me, okay, this is the name of it. This is the site that it's going to search. But here, keyword is where I have to make a change. So if I, in this keyword area, just type in wiki, I get the little check mark there. I click OK. And now, no matter what web page I'm in, if I type in my Omni Bar up here at the top, if I type in wiki and space, look what it does. It says search wikipedia.org. Now, whatever I type in here, it's only going to search Wikipedia. Okay? And I can create custom search engines out of any site that has a searchable field in it. And I can name that search engine. So here my example is IMDb, right? And so if I were to type into my Omni Bar, and let's zoom in on that, IMDb, and then space, it's just going to search IMDb. So if I then type in Gatsby, it's going to take me right to imdb.com and give me the search results there. So I can use my Omni Bar to search exclusively certain sites by just creating a little keyword and hitting the space bar, and it'll generate the ability to search that site. Which part?
From the beginning.
From the beginning. Okay. So I have to think of another. Okay, so let's go to like Amazon.com. There's another site that has a searchable field. So if I right click in that searchable field and I go down to add a search engine, again, up here, the name is, I don't want to change that, but I do want to change this keyword because the keyword is what I'm going to type into my Omni Bar. So in this case, I'll just type in, I can just type in like ZON if I want to. I can make it whatever I want. Okay, and I click on OK. Now from any site, let's say I'm in this Chrome Web Store, and I just type in ZON and space, it's going to search Amazon only.
So your keyword is.
Okay, so I mean, you know, the ability, and again, this is all stuff that really, I could just go to Amazon.com and then type in the search field there, right? I mean, it's a couple of clicks, right? But you know, if it's the same idea as, you know, I can buy, you know, this $2 drink. It's just a couple of bucks, right? A couple of bucks and couple of bucks and couple of bucks. It all adds up, you know. Over my lifetime, I hope to have clicked a lot less than I should have or could have, right? And it might save me a little bit in carpal tunnel, you know, medical bills. I don't know. But, you know, again, the title of the session is How Cool is Chrome? And it's just cool to be able to do that. It's cool that somebody at Google thought, you know, let's just do that. That sounds neat. We can do it. We can write a script for it. We can write code for it. We can generate that. And then let's do it. And they just put it in there. And it's not like now we can charge more for Chrome because it has this feature. It's just something that's, I'm sure that somebody up in Mountain View thought of, you know, some, you know, 21-year-old, you know, hipster with a beard and a you know, 1972 10-speed, and just decided that, you know, that sounds cool. And he worked for a month on it and presented it to his supervisor, who pushed it up the line. And they said, yeah, that's cool. Let's add it to Chrome. Because that's the way it works up there. That's how they do it. Okay, incognito mode. And incognito mode is great to use in the classroom. Okay, not because, and they make it look real shady because they make this little incognito guy like he's doing something super sneaky. Okay, if you're not familiar with incognito mode in Chrome, and they have versions of it in Safari. They have a version of it. They have like privacy mode, and then in Firefox they have a different. But you know, this is the one for Chrome. So incognito mode. So if I go up to my hamburger and I go down to open a new incognito window, okay, it'll open a window. It says you've gone incognito. Pages you view in incognito tabs won't stick around in your browser's history, cookie store, or search history after you've closed all your incognito tabs. Okay, so you know, to be honest with you, we all know why incognito mode's there, right? It's because I want to go looking at inappropriate sites and I don't want it to be in my internet history. But to use something like incognito mode in the classroom is awesome, because especially if you're a Google Apps for Education district, because I constantly have kids having issues with their, and instead of me going over to their little Chromebook and trying to troubleshoot it there, I'll have them come up to my desk, I'll open an incognito tab, I'll go to Google, and I will have them sign in to their account in incognito mode, because incognito mode doesn't know that in my normal window I'm signed into my Google account, oh yeah, and my GAFE account, oh yeah, and my AP. I've got like 3 Google accounts that I have open at the same time. I don't need to be opening a kid's Google account in my normal window, because now I'm just adding more Google accounts to when if you have more than one something, it'll say, do you want to use this account, this account, this account, that account, right? I don't want to now have a list of 45 accounts, because I'm always signing kids in to their Google account on my computer. So if I open an incognito tab, I can then open up whatever kid account I want to here, and once I close that window, my computer has forgotten all about it. Okay, I use it all the time in the classroom. Kids like, I'm having trouble, come up here and sign into your Google account. Open an incognito window and sign in, and then we start troubleshooting it from there. Because I have a huge, like 26-inch monitor on my desk, and we can really look at it. We can break it down. If they want to show me something, because we've got those little Acer Chromebooks with the itsy bitsy little screens and all that. If there's something that we need to start troubleshooting on a grander scale, they come in and sign on my computer, and incognito mode is awesome. Your ability to add, really? Is that your personal computer? That might be it.
Yeah. That way they can keep track.
There you go. They don't want you guys going incognito. I'm telling you, man, those districts, if you go to the hamburger and down to new incognito window. If you know what, if they've got your computers clamped down on the district, they figured out a way to shut that off. Telling you, man. The man. Put down by the man. Don't they know what we're trying to do in the classroom? Holy moly. Now this is the lifesaver. I've already heard this twice, and they weren't even Chrome sessions, okay, over these last 2 days. But to open an accidentally closed tab, if I'm on Amazon and oops, I close that tab and I need it back open, okay? On a Mac, it's Shift-Command-T. On Windows, it's Control-Shift-T. But Shift-Command-T opens that right back up. Brings that tab right back. Oh, yeah. You want to talk about busting kids. There you go. Yeah. They close that tab real quick. You're like, oh, let me see your Chromebook real quick. Oh, okay. Boom. Does not work in incognito, though. Sorry. Incognito is like immune to all that good stuff. But yeah, Shift-Command-T on a Mac, Control-Shift-T on a PC opens that last tab right back up. It would be the same as a PC, so it's yeah, Control-Shift-T. Okay, so now we get into extensions. I'm just gonna hit some of these lightly, and then we're gonna look in the Chrome store. Really, it's a little embarrassing. A lot of your Chrome extensions live up here on the top of your toolbar, and they added functionality to your Chrome browser. I've got just a few here. I've got a couple more in here, but if I were to, I'm going to share this with you because we're a small group and I feel particularly connected to you. I'm going to slide my Omni Bar over and really expose myself to you here. That I've got a lot of, I've got a lot of them. And actually, if I slide it all the way over here, I can always kind of click on this down arrow and I can access other ones. Now, do I use them all the time? No, I don't. Do I use some more than others? Yeah. Am I a hoarder? Yeah. But I find something cool and I just want to put it on there, and then see if I wind up using it. If I don't wind up using it, then, I'll get rid of it at a certain point or not. I need to, I'll share something else with you. Yeah, there's my desktop. So, I'm kind of cluttery, kind of messy. I know where everything is. Okay, so let's look at some extensions. And these are just some of my favorites. Okay, if you're not currently using an Adblock extension on your Chrome browser, you must do that. You don't really have to do anything for your Adblock extension to work. So I'm going to kind of take it back a little bit to extensions themselves before I jump further. So you should all in your Chrome browser have this bookmark in your bookmark bar. Should be an apps drawer. And if you don't, and when you click on that apps drawer, there should be an app called Store. Now, all apps do, all your Chrome apps do is basically, they're all just a bunch of websites. So if I click on Store, it's going to take me to the Chrome Store website. If I click on the Evernote app, it's going to take me to the Evernote website. If I click on the YouTube app, it's going to take me to the YouTube website, so on and so forth. So it's not anything that's really this magnificent, like you're getting all these free apps, right? It's just a link to a store. So you can always go into your Omni Bar and type in Chrome Store, search for it, Chrome Web Store, click on the link, open it up, okay? Chrome Web Store is a little bit of a misnomer. I don't know, that's weird that you don't, that should just automatically be there. You know what, if you hang around for 2 minutes afterwards, we'll look that up. Okay, so the Chrome Web Store is a little bit of a misnomer in that it's a store in a sense that it houses a bunch of stuff, but everything in it is free. So it's more like, you know, the Chrome Web Free Store, right? So everything in it is free. There's a bunch of apps here, but where we're going to go is all the way down this line, down to the bottom here where it says extensions. And so extensions, okay, so there's a difference between apps and extensions. Again, apps are just links to pages, essentially, web apps. So, you know, again, let me open up my apps here. And so, you know, Box takes me to box.com. Play Music takes me to my Google Play website. So all these they're apps, but they're web applications, okay? So they're all just taking us to web pages. And there's tons and tons and tons of those apps on the site. Some of them are games, some of them are, you know, utilities, some make us more productive. But at the end of the day, they're just websites that, you know, that house tools that are on the web. Extensions, on the other hand, and I'm not going to go deep into apps because we're not really talking about those. Extensions, on the other hand, add different things to your web browser. They give you the ability to do different things in your web browser. A lot of them are button activated. So they create a button up here, and those buttons do things when you're on a web page. No, if it doesn't give you a button, then it's something that works without a button. Yeah. Now, yeah, there are definitely some like I know that some of you have seen. So when I open up a new tab, I get this. This one's called Fox Tab, but it's based on an extension called Speed Dial. So I basically create these little tabs for all different sites that I go to all the time. So anytime I open a new tab, all the sites that I use often are right here. This is an extension. Yeah, and it's called Fox Tab. And you like the animal, yeah. It was originally created for Firefox, and it's, you know, but there's speed dial tabs and things like that. So this is a kind of an extension. So it's not an application. It's something that increases the usability of my browser. It allows you to interact with that application in your browser. So here's a great example. Okay, so let's say I am on this page in IMDb. It's a search for Gatsby. And this is something that I want to save. Okay, so let me find, let's say I want to put it on Pinterest. Okay, so I have a Pinterest extension, right? Here's my Pinterest extension, or I want to save it to Google Drive. Here's my Save to Google Drive extension, right? And so if I were to click the Pinterest button, it would basically just kind of open up if you know Pinterest, it'll open up the Pinterest window, allow me to pick one thing to pin, and then pin it. And so what it's done is it's extended the usability of my Chrome browser to add for a very quick add to Pinterest. Okay, or an add to Google Drive. And you'll get more of a sense of what I'm talking about as I go through some of these. So the Adblock Plus, okay, so this is great. So this is a nice little, so on this page, this IMDb page, if I didn't have Adblock Plus on it, there would be 2 ads on this page. I know because if I look up here in my bar, you can see ABP, there's a stop sign, and there's a little 2 next to it. Okay, so it's blocked 2 ads from my view. Now, does that make the functionality of the website any better? Anything like that? No, but it just gets those ads out of my sight line. Okay, one of the huge offenders with ads is Yahoo.com. Now, Yahoo's good for a lot of things. It's got a lot of real current news. It's got a lot of quick hitters. There's always ads on this page. Okay, and so 4 ads. It blocked 4 ads on this Yahoo homepage. So I just don't have to deal with those ads, which for me, Adblock Plus is the one that I use, and it works fantastic. I use the Adblock for YouTube. What that does is it blocks. Have you ever gone to a YouTube video and it starts playing an ad at the beginning? Instead, it says you can click out of this ad in 5 seconds. That Adblock YouTube is supposed to make that go away. Right? Yeah. No, that's cool.
Okay, so go on YouTube.
Yeah.
And do I have to click the ad to make it work on YouTube?
No. It just does it. It just does it. Yes. Yes. Once it's what is that? What was that? That infomercial, set it and forget it. Yeah, that's Adblock Plus. You just install it and it stays there and it just blocks ads.
Okay, so I've done this on my laptop.
Yes.
If I open up my PC, my driving on my PC, it's going to be there. Like this is not just for this computer. It is that I'm blocking ads on my drive.
No, it's blocking it in this browser. Now, if you have your Google Chrome synced, then any extension you put on one machine, on your browser on one machine, will sync to other machines. But that's only if you have your browser synced. And you, yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you log.
So it's actually going through Chrome, right?
Yeah.
You have to go through the content. So if you go through Chrome and log in, your account, Chrome, and one. But I can give this to my work. So I can use Chrome.
Okay. It's the extension. It's an extension. Okay, so we're like 5 minutes. So this is available to you. I'm just gonna kind of roll through some of these pretty quickly and share them with you. Google Translate. If you've never used translate.google.com, okay, it's a fantastic tool. It translates text. It translates web pages. It translates them in multiple languages. But if I'm on Yahoo and I go to my Google Translate, see again. Okay, so here's my Google Translate extension. If I click on it, it's going to ask me, I'm going to have it translate this page. And I'm going to have it translate to, I have all these to choose from. Esperanto, how about that? Just to see if it can. Okay, it sort of did it. That's kind of weird, but let's get more realistic and deal with maybe what some of our students may be dealing with. Let's go to like Vietnamese. And we can see here that now we have this web page translated into Vietnamese. And when you hover over text, it will the original translation.
How accurate is it?
You know what? I've asked students, right? So a lot of times it's more and more accurate because it's basically community-based translation. So the Google community, right? If you're working in with the translator and you see that, okay, that's not really correct, you can send a message to Google saying that's not really, that's a little off, right? But what I found, and I use it because I mean right now in my classes, in my coding class and in my building class, I've got 4 kids in my coding class and like 7 kids in my building class who in September knew like 4 words of English, Spanish speakers, right? And so I have them using Google, this Translate extension. I have kids, you know, coding JavaScript because they're using the Google Translate to see what the page is telling them to do, right? And it's off a little bit, but it's like, what if you read English that was just a little bit off? You'd still get it, right? It's not, you know, it may not be grammatically correct, but it's close enough that comprehension is there, and that's what we're really concerned about in the classroom. And it's always getting better. It used to be literal word for word translation, which is wonky, right? But now it's a little more intuitive. Okay. Yeah. No, it's there, and the ability to just use that that extension really quick to change what the web page looks like is pretty cool. Clip It Good, we're going to skip that. That's advanced class. There's an app called Ginger that does on the fly spell check and grammar check. So if you're typing in something, it'll just and it sees a spelling error or sees a grammar error, it will just pop up, right? It'll pop up like in this picture here. And then if you want to use this correction, you just click on it and it changes it right away. That one's called Ginger. If I disable it on my computer because I do a lot of coding, HTML coding, and it's forever correcting my coding where, you know, because coding isn't real language, it's not like English language, so it wants to correct everything I type, and it just makes me a little nutty, but it's very cool. Google Dictionary, if you have the Google Dictionary extension in, it looks like that. Anywhere that you highlight and then double click it, the definition will come up in a bubble, and it also has a you can click the little speaker there, and it will say the word out loud in English. So, you know, if you have kids that are again English learners, you know, or that are need accommodations or modifications of special ed kids that need that extra support, right? A very quick and easy way to give that in the classroom. And sorry, I'm flying through this really quickly. Clearly is one that I know has come up a bunch. It's a tool from Evernote. If I'm in Yahoo and I'm reading this awesome article about Bruce Jenner and his long locks, I can, and it's got all kinds of business. It's super busy, right? I can click this little. It looks like the little lamp from Pixar, right? If I click clearly, it'll reformat that into a very easy to read article. And it must not have been a super long article there, but it'll work it like that. And then I can even print this up. So if I want to, you know, if there's an article online that I want students to read, I can also send it to Evernote, and I can send it to students in this format instead of. It's great for me. I get easily distracted, right? So whenever I'm reading a blog article or anything like that, I'll just use Clearly to eliminate all of the distractions. Okay, to that end, there's also an app called QuietTube, and I'm just going to jump down a little bit. QuietTube is very cool. It does the same thing. So if I'm in YouTube and I'm watching any video, what's new on Netflix this month, that'll work. Okay, and I've got all this business on the outside in YouTube that is just kind of taking my focus away. Up here in my bar up here, there's a little light. If I click on that, it basically dims everything around it. It's not disappeared, but it's dimmed. And it's called Turn Out the Lights. Yes, so this is another one here, and it's this little symbol right here that says Google Similar Pages. So let's say I'm on this Yahoo page, and I click on See Similar Pages. This is a Google extension made by Google that when I click on it, I'm doing a lot of stuff here, so it's not liking me very much right now. Or maybe it just doesn't like that page. I'm on a movie site like IMDb. Yeah, it's not playing nice. If you click that, it should give us a full list of websites that are like IMDb, but it's grumpy with me right now. But it'll say like Rotten Tomatoes, Flickster, all the different sites that are like IMDb. Just a couple more, and then we'll cut it loose. How many of you are Pinterest or use Pinterest? Okay, if you use it for yourself, great. If you use it for your classroom, great. One of the things that irritates me about Pinterest is that if there's not an image on the screen, you can't pin it because it only pins images or movies, right? This extension allows you to pin your screen. So what it does is when you click it, and see, this is my Pinterest one, but then this is my pin my screen one. It's just a little different. But what it'll do is it'll generate an image of the actual web page and allow you to pin anything, which is cool. That's just for people that are like, I wish I could pin this page, but I can't because there's no pictures on it. Let's see. Print friendly and PDF, that's a little involved. Announceify is really cool. It basically reads a web page. So again, if you're looking to accommodate students who have issues reading, whether it be because of a learning disability or a language issue, right? Announceify will automatically just read a web page for you, section by section. It'll highlight the words that it's reading as it reads it, and it's actually not like a horrible computer voice. Okay, so we went through a lot of stuff. We went a little bit long. My suggestion is just kind of hit extensions in the Chrome Web Store, and then just kind of look through here. And the way it works is you just roll over one, and it tells you what it does. If you have any interest in maybe, okay, so any.do helps you remember everything you have to do. If I click on it, it'll just kind of give me this exploded window and give me a little more of an understanding of what goes on. For me, I often get into an internet rabbit hole where I just like Alice in Wonderland. I keep going further and further down. And when anytime I go in to look at extensions, it's kind of a rabbit hole for me because I just keep looking at more and more. I install them. I don't like it. I disable them or delete them. I go further. So there's a lot of different things here, both for the productivity as a teacher that you can utilize in your classroom, or just Facebook. This is one that just lets you see people's profile pictures full size instead of just a little tiny a thumbnail picture. So there's a lot of them that do just a lot of different things. Okay, but Chrome is just such an adaptable, growable browser. It's just a pretty fantastic tool. If I can't use Chrome, I just cry because I just got 20 laptops in my classroom, brand new, like 45-pound Dell laptops. They're these like heaviest things ever, and they're completely locked down and only have Internet Explorer. So I'm just like raising hell about I can't use that.
Okay. Question, I scrolled forward, you have one that says print friendly and PDF.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Can you tell us how to print to get rid of all that stuff?
Print friendly and PDF. Okay. Feel free to walk out of here because we're past our time. But print friendly and PDF. Well, let me find you there. That's you, right?
Is it a,
Okay.
extension?
It is an extension. So when I go here to print friendly and PDF, there's a couple extensions that do the same thing. But what it'll do for me is it basically just pulls out a lot of the garbage so that I can create a PDF out of it, or I can print it up like that. Now, I actually found a better tool than that. And it is called, let me, right. Now the thing that and this I don't like this Bruce Jenner article because there's nothing. It's just him with his locks, and it doesn't have a lot of text to it, which I want to see text. Okay, so here's this one has some text to it, but there's a lot of stuff in here that I don't want here. So there's an extension. I used it during my drive session called Clean Save. Okay, so if you look for Clean Save, when I click on that now, you check this out. This is really cool. Okay, so clean save, it first of all cleans it up quite a bit, but then there might be some other things that I want to take out. So like this Business Insider thing right here. See the little red X that comes up? I click on it, it makes it go away. That little dot makes it go away. View gallery, I don't want there, makes it go away. So I can start, pulling stuff out of here. View gallery, I want it to go away. View gallery again, I want that to go away. So I start eliminating stuff that I want to leave. And so this is looking good so far. Looking good so far. I don't want that down there. And once I get it to where I want it, and I just did something that made a lot of stuff go away, but once I get it to where I want it, it has, over here on the left-hand side, it has way more capabilities than the other one does. I can actually save it to my Google Drive, and I can not only save it as a PDF, but I can save it as a Google Doc. So that if I take this article from Yahoo and I clean it up, I save it to my Google Drive as a Google Doc, then I can send it out to kids in like Google Classroom or something like that, and they can then annotate it using Google Docs, and then send it to me, share it with me or send it back to me via Google Classroom. And we never print it up. We never use any paper. Kids are annotating an article that I pulled out of Yahoo, which has a crap load of ads in it, right? And I want to get rid of those. So this one's neat. I just found this one the other day. Ooh, there you go. I'm gonna leave right there because that was high point. All right, so that is a Chrome extension called Clean Save. Clean Save. Which extension? You put in the Zoom It.
Yeah, as an extension.
They have a Zoom It extension.
I went into tool. Hold on. I lost it. Yeah, I found it when I was in there. Tools and then
go to your extensions.
right there.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be all the way at the bottom if it's Zoom It.
right there.
Okay, so Zoom It. So what
Yeah.
you want to do is probably visit the website and see how you make it work.
Okay, and then
It'll-
that's what it just came up and did. And this is added to Chrome.
Go to details. Zoom It is easy function in context menu. Wow, that's not even English.
I was like, huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would.
But then that didn't show up there. That's why I was like,
The next thing I would do is Google.
okay.
Is go to Google, say, Zoom It Chrome extension and see what comes up. And
So if it
like,
doesn't
how do
show
I
up
use
up
it?
here, so then every time I would need to go here to my
no,
extensions,
that's
pull
not it.
up.
There's got to be some sort of keystrokes or something like that you would use to make it work.
Okay, but for anything, like I have other ones that didn't show up here, so that are in here as well.
Right, but you don't have to go into your extensions to make them work. Their functionality
Is there
exists
already?
behind the scenes.
Okay,
If it doesn't show up as a button in your toolbar.
great. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I'm opposite of you. I came from, this is a new district, new laptop, new computer.
Okay.
I came from a district that we only use